as of an hour ago, the Diamondbacks have signed with the Houston Astros. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Diamondbacks front office in general, not making a move yet as we get closer to the day. And of course, the Phoenix Suns were 14 as well. We'll talk about that with Alden K and get a little bit of ready for the running back. And we'll close out with ASU football. ASU finds out who their opponent is for the Peach Bowl tomorrow between Clemson and Texas. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching the ASU football on the High Sports Radio. Sports. Of course, I'm your host, Alden K. Episode 23. Another day, another week of Arizona sports, having good and bad. Of course, we'll get to the Cardinals, but before we do that, IE Sports Radio has been around for 10 years, guys. Make sure to follow us on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel where we are trying to grow really fast. And of course, the website, iesportsradio.com, where we also have merch, and of course make sure to check out the custom websites. And if you guys miss any of our shows, you guys can check them out on pretty much any network that you can think of. And of course, make sure to follow both of the Twitter or X accounts that I run, whatever you guys call it nowadays. AZ Sports Zone IE, where I pretty much just retweet a bunch of news that come out. Like I said, Christian Walker to the Astros, it sucks, but we'll talk about that later in the show. So make sure to follow that if you guys want to get every single update on pretty much every single Arizona sports team. And of course, follow my personal Twitter account at the AZTRL, where I'm not as active, but when I am active, I tend to be unfiltered on that account. And what I mean by that is I talk trash. So if you guys want to get a good laugh in, if you guys want to hear me talk trash about LA teams, then yeah, make sure to follow that account. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Always Arizona Sports. I'm actually debuting a brand new show of mine on my YouTube channel on January 12th, where me and my friends, we have a podcast starting on January 12th. It's every Sunday, so make sure if you guys want to talk sports with us, primarily the big three, football, basketball, and baseball, go ahead and give that a check out. Once again, January 12th. Me and a few of my friends are debuting a new podcast, so it's going to be pretty cool. So let's get to the comments before we hear a word from our sponsors. Taryn Rodriguez, what's up, man? Okay, Ralph, what's up, man? Yep, happy holidays to everybody. I hope you guys have a really good Christmas. Next Wednesday, I'm gonna be honest, Christmas as an adult, it just doesn't feel the same. But that's just my experience. I don't know. Maybe for y'all it's different. Christian Watt, yeah, maybe we should try for Pete Alonso. Well, that's the thing. Pete Alonso is above the Diamondbacks owner's payroll. He's not going to pay for Pete Alonso. And plus, Pete Alonso's agent is a piece of shit. So any Diamondbacks fan that thinks that's going to happen, they can kiss that goodbye. And of course, Taryn, yep. Next week, Rams and Cardinals. Like I said earlier, we will talk about the Rams and Cardinals game moving to a Saturday primetime game, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to have Taryn on here, guys. We're going to have Taryn Rodriguez on here again. So next Friday, we will have him on here to talk about that game. It is now a primetime game, so hopefully Kyler doesn't shit the bed like he normally does on primetime. So, but before we get to the Cardinals, guys, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Silly Deal Wax Seals. And, of course, we'll hear a word from Larry B. on the IE Sports Radio. Once again, you're listening to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
AC Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, big shout out from our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and of course, shout out to the IE Sports Radio. Another week, like I said, of good and bad in Arizona sports. I feel like that's how it always is. You know, you have your good and bad moments. Especially as of an hour and about a half ago. Some very depressing news, I guess, but I mean, it is what it is. But you guys know me, I always start off with the Cardinals, so we're going to do that. We'll start with the good, okay? We'll start with the good news because I am just, gosh, all we get is bad in Arizona sports. We can never have anything good, but we have some good news for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are extending Budda Baker to a 3-year deal. for $54 million. $30 million of those dollars are guaranteed. Big move. Very happy. I'm just so happy that this is over with. Buda Baker is here for the next 3 years at least, while he's still in his prime, while we're still in a rebuild. There were talks of him going to teams like, I don't know, the Eagles, the Bengals were interested in him. There were other teams that were going to try to go after him. I mean, one of the best safeties in the league. A lot of teams could use him. And we did think that Buda Baker was going to leave at one point. He did request a trade a year ago. So we all thought at one point when his contract was up, he was going to be up and out of here. He was going to go to a better contender, and he was going to compete for a Super Bowl before he is out of his prime years. But he has chosen to stay with the Arizona Cardinals while they're still in their rebuild, while they still have a chance to compete this year. They still have 3 games to go, so they have an opportunity to close the season out good, make a postseason, maybe shock the world a little bit if they get a win or two. This was a very, very good move. We needed this. Monty Ossenfort, big shout out. The deal is done. We're keeping the leader. We're keeping the captain of the Cardinals on this team. The heartbeat of the Cardinals, if you want to call it that, as Larry Fitzgerald said. And I'm just so happy that we did not let another superstar walk. It's the amount of times, and I said this on X. If Steve Keim was still the general manager, I guarantee you he would have let Buda Baker go to a different team. How many times have we seen this guy before he resigned as our GM? How many times have we seen this guy get rid of so many superstars? Hassan Reddick, Tyrann Mathieu, Calais Campbell. I mean, you can name basically other star that we've had that is not named Larry Fitzgerald. Steve Keim has basically let walk. So I'm glad he's not our general manager anymore. Monty Ossenfort actually was able to keep Buda Baker. So that is definitely something that needed to be done. What's up, Crazy Juice? So, and it's not like we overpaid him or anything like that. It's $54 million. The Cardinals still have the 3rd highest cap space in the NFL next offseason. So we still have a lot of cap space available to make a lot of moves as we potentially head towards a playoff contending team. We are 7-7 right now, so it's not like we're declining, right? We're heading in the right direction where we won 4 games last season. So our rebuild is going good so far. We still have an opportunity to win the division. I know it's probably a long shot at this point, but we still have an opportunity. So, we're gonna keep it going. So Buda Baker's here for the next 3 years. Big move. The leader is staying here in the desert for the next 3 seasons. Big shout out to Buda Baker for staying loyal. It's another thing. Arizona Cardinal players just do not want to be here, but Buda Baker is staying here. So, that's one less issue to worry about. And we got it done before the offseason, too, when teams were actually going to make a pitch for Buda Baker as well. So, very happy that got done. So, with that being said, let's see if we could close out the season strong now that we got that whole Buda Baker situation out of the way. What's up, Taj? The Cardinals and Rams game for next week. So, we're playing the Panthers this weekend. Assuming we win that game should be a win, but Arizona sports, you can't ever guarantee a win. So assuming we win the Panthers game this week, the Cardinals and Rams game has been moved to a primetime game on Saturday. So they flexed the game. It was originally on a Sunday afternoon game, but the NFL is flexing it to a Saturday primetime game. So this is going to be a very big game. This is an NFC West game. This is potentially for the division. Whoever wins this game is probably going to potentially go to the playoffs or at least have a higher chance to win the division. So if you look at the NFC standings right now, I would say the only way we make the playoffs is by winning the division. The Commanders are currently the 7th seed right now, and they are 9-5. Something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. 9-5. So we're 7-7. So we would have to rely on a huge downfall from Washington in order to make the playoffs as a wild card team. So the Cardinals' best bet at making the playoffs is by finishing out this season strong with 3 wins, beating the Panthers, Rams, and Niners to close out their season, and hope for Seattle and LA to have some sort of downfall and for the Cardinals to win the division. That is probably the Cardinals' best bet of making the playoffs at this rate, if they have any chance. And it really sucks too, because we had the division in our hands comfortably at one point. Well, not comfortably, but we had the division in our hands at one point. We were 6-4 going into a bye week, and then we just hit a big rough patch, losing to the Seahawks twice and losing to the Vikings. So we've had a rough patch this last month. But you know, the Seahawks, they did lose to the Green Bay Packers. The Rams are currently on a hot streak. So they will be a tough team to deal with next week. So assuming we win this Panthers game, this game, probably the most important game of the season. I know we play the Niners after the Rams, and that could honestly also be for the division because the Niners aren't also out of it yet. They still have a chance if they can bounce back. So this division is up for grabs for any team. So depending on who the Rams play this week, I think it was the Jets. Let me look it up. So the Rams remaining 3 games, yes, it's the Jets, Cardinals, and Seahawks. So they'll probably beat the Jets. I mean, the Jets are the Jets. I'm sorry. The Jets are just terrible. So assuming the Rams beat the Jets and assuming we beat the Panthers, this will be, and we currently have the tiebreaker over the Rams right now because we beat them back in week 2. So that win was very important. But this game is going to be even more important because if we take the sweep in LA, we have the tiebreaker over the Rams. And if we could beat the Panthers and Niners and just rely on a Seahawks downfall, we could win the division still, technically. But then again, what do I always say about the Cardinals? Whenever it's a primetime game, the offense, I have no idea why. The offense struggles. We tend to lose a lot of players due to injuries. And it's just like, it's a whole different Cardinals team in such a brutal way. It's just so weird. But at the end of the day, we still have a chance. Even if we don't make the playoffs, it's not like this season was a complete failure. Remember, guys, we won 4 games last year. We're 7-7 right now. So we have a chance to at least go above 500 this season, which nobody predicted us to do. So the fact that we're even in playoff contention right now, honestly, I consider it a successful season. We are still in a rebuild. We've done a lot of good things this year. We re-signed Budda Baker. We re-signed James Conner. So it's not like this whole season has completely gone to shit, So, but while we have that opportunity, I would like to see us at least take care of that opportunity and go to the postseason. Even if we're first round exits, making the playoffs is something I would have never seen coming. So we'll see what happens. But Crazy Juice says, I would like to see the Lambs somehow lose their 3 remaining games, but we know that's not going to happen. Yeah, they're playing the Jets. So at the end of the day, they're at least going to get one more win. They're playing the Cardinals. It's a division game, so we'll see what happens. And then they got the Seahawks. So if we beat LA next week, and if we beat Carolina, and if it's depending on that week 18 game, we may have to root for the Rams to beat the Seahawks, which is kind of funny. But honestly, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. And then he says the season's been over since we lost to the Seagulls at home. Yeah, the Niners, they just dealt with a bunch of injuries this season. And what's up, RJ? Yep. We'll be back at it on 2K, RJ, probably tomorrow. We'll see what happens. So, all right, so I got those 2 topics out of the way. So let's talk about the victory against the Patriots that we had last week. So, this game was supposed to be a victory, and it was. This game was sort of a comfortable game for a majority of the game. I mean, the Cardinals' offense, they were kind of struggling in that first half, but in the third quarter, they were able to, or in the second half in general, I should say, they were able to create a comfortable lead and get the victory over the Patriots. Honestly, if you're a Patriots fan, I'll say this. Drake May has not looked that bad. He didn't look that bad against us, even though even though they only put up 17 points, Drake May actually looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Even though the interception that he threw, it wasn't really his fault. It was kind of a ricochet off of the receiver. So Drake May looked pretty good. So I'm not going to lie. I'll admit that. The Cardinals defense, though, it's like ever since that Chargers primetime game back in week 6, this defense has stepped up tremendously. They've been carrying our team a little bit. It's just the reason why we've lost certain games has just been our offense not being able to execute on certain drives. But Cardinals were able to do that. The only issue I really had with this game is why the hell is James Conner not running the ball? I mean, James Conner is probably the heartbeat of our offense. He should be getting more than 4 carries in the first half, which is why the Cardinals offense struggled a little bit in the first half. Like, you can't give James Conner, a guy who's averaging a bunch of yards, especially in the red zone, when we're in the red zone several times and you're throwing the ball. Listen, I get it. Trey McBride does not have a receiving touchdown yet, and I know this offense is like so desperate to get him that receiving touchdown. But when you're at the 1 yard line and you're trying to throw the ball nonstop to one guy, and the Patriots probably game plan for Trey McBride too, so you have to get the run game involved, which is something that we did not see a lot in this game. But I digress. We were able to get the victory. This was a must-win game as well. I know it's the Patriots. They're also in a rebuild. They're probably going to get Travis Hunter for all I know. But at the end of the day, this offensively, we did put up 30. But in that first half alone, you actually have to score some points, especially against a team like the Patriots. It was just, something that, I don't know, made me scratch my head a little bit. But regardless of that, we got the win. We needed this win. We're 7-7 now. We're back at 500. We have the Panthers this Sunday. We'll talk about that here shortly. Another issue I had with this game was just the injuries. Like the injuries were killing us. Mac Wilson went out on, I think, the first play of the Patriots' first drive. So we will not have Mac Wilson this week against the Panthers, which is a big blow to our defense. But even without Mac Wilson, I mean, our defense looked pretty good. But regardless of that, I mean, like I said, it is the Patriots. But if you're a Patriots fan, Drake May looked pretty good. I will say that. So for the few times he was actually on the field, because the Cardinals offense, they were killing so much time, and the defense, they were just staying off of the field the entire time. So for the short times that you guys got to see Drake May, he was throwing some dots. So it's not something to complain about really if you're a Patriots fan. I know people want to bash him a little bit, but we'll see what happens with him. So let's see here. What's up, Arku, and what's up, Carcast? So let's get to every time I stream this on my actual channel, I get a lot more viewers. I may need to start doing that a lot more. The only issue I have is I do tend to get copyrighted a little bit when I'm streaming on my personal channel, so it is what it is. But I may have to keep doing that a lot more. So let's talk about this Cardinals and Panthers game as we're taking on the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. So one thing I want to point out is that the Cardinals and Panthers history is not something to be proud about if you're a Cardinals fan. The Panthers have had our number lately, historic-wise. But then again, this Panthers team is currently in a rebuild. I will say this. Bryce Young is actually looking a little bit better than he was last year, which isn't saying much. But the Panthers have been kind of shocking a lot of their opponents lately. I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs recently. They were hanging on tight against, the Cowboys suck, but they were hanging on tight against the Cowboys for a good half. So they're coming off of a blowout loss against the Cowboys. So, and I find it funny. I tweeted on X saying that we may have to worry about the Panthers next week because it looked like they were competing well against a currently, I wouldn't say hot Cowboys team, but they were winning a few of their games recently. So the Panthers have been pretty, as RQ said, they are being competitive lately in some of their games. So this could be a trap game signal. I'm not saying we are going to lose. This should be a win. It should be a win. But every time we play the Panthers, some stupid shit happens. Ever since Cam Newton. ever since Cam Newton, some stupid shit happens. We tend to lose games. It's so annoying. But I want to talk about the injury report because we have a lot of key players out for this game. As I talked about in that Patriots game, we lost a lot of players due to injuries. It feels like every time we play the Patriots, we lose a good player. Kyler Murray tore his ACL when we played him. And now get this. The Cardinals will be without Trey Benson, Paris Johnson Jr., Jesse Luketa, and Mac Wilson for the Panthers game. So Trey Benson is out with an ankle injury, which kind of surprises me because we never really see Trey Benson that much. But for the few times we do see Trey Benson, he's actually looked pretty good. So we'll see what happens with Trey Benson. But he is out this week with an ankle injury. Paris Johnson Jr., our left tackle, is out with a knee injury. So the offensive line is going to have to really step up for this game. I don't really know how good the Panthers defense is. But I know that the Cardinals offensive line is not something to be proud of. And now we have Paris Johnson out. We have a lot of the offensive line is something to really look at for this weekend if you're a Panthers fan. So Jesse Luketa is out with a thigh injury, so Luketa remains out after that injury against the Seahawks. We'll see what happens there. Mac Wilson is out with the concussion that he suffered against the Patriots, so we won't see him either. For the Panthers, so it doesn't say if they are ruled out or anything like that, but these players are on the injury report. Jadeveon Clowney, Sam Franklin, Xavier Woods, Xavier Leggett, Chuba Hubbard, which is a big one, J.C. Horn, Ashawn Robinson, David Moore, Raheem Blackshear, and Jalen Coker, wide receiver. So both teams have some type of injury-related situations heading into this game. So this game, though, like I said, it's a must-win, and it should be a win. But like I said, Panthers have been competitive lately, and every time we face the Carolina Panthers, it's always a close game. It's either always a close game or the Panthers just demolish us. There's no in between. But this is a must-win, and we need to win this game before we take on the Rams and the Niners to close out the regular season. Especially that Rams game. That Rams game is probably the most important game we have left on our schedule. It's going to be for the division. If we have any chance in the world, assuming the Seahawks have a downfall, even though the Seahawks play the Chicago Bears, I think, this week, I'm pretty sure that's who they play. Can the Bears just pull off an upset, please? I mean, man, it's not going to be pretty probably, but you guys get my point. So if we have any chance at making the playoffs still, we have to win out. And it starts with this game, which should be a win. But again, you know, what do I know? This Cardinals team has lost so many games that they should have won. It's not even funny. We've had so many opportunities to really seal our fate of the postseason this year, but little mistake after little mistake is why we are currently in the situation that we are in right now, and we have to win out now. That's what it's come down to. So, yeah. All right, so I've spent about 30 minutes talking about the Cardinals, guys. We're going to go into a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I think you guys may have a guess on what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'm skipping the Sun. Normally I talk about the Suns after the Cardinals, but I need to get the Diamondbacks out of the way real quick, and I need to talk about this front office that we have a little bit. So, like I said, we're going to go into a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Christian Walker signing with the Houston Astros, and I'll talk about how poorly our front office is. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Diamondbacks. So we'll talk about that a little bit. It just sucks. But once again, guys, you're listening to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Whine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on the IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Big shout out to Adam and Mike. Make sure to check out their shows, guys. As they talk about Adam Chicago and Mike with anything in the DMV, Ravens, Commanders, you name it, and of course wine. So make sure to check out not just their shows, but everyone else's shows. Pretty much every day of the week, we have really good shows. An amazing host. We'll talk about anything sports related from pretty much anywhere. So if you're, a fan of pretty much any team, we have someone on here to talk about it. I know Arku's in here. We actually have a new Texas fan who actually just debuted his show the other day. So if you want to watch that, make sure to go check him out as well. So, but with that being said, let's get back to Arizona sports. All right, let's talk about the Diamondbacks for a little bit. Man. Dude, I don't get this team. I don't get this team at all. I don't get it. You couldn't give Christian Walker $60 million. He was literally projected to get more than that. He was projected to get over $100 million from another team. You couldn't give Christian Walker $60 million? Is this ownership that cheap? You gave Eduardo Rodriguez $80 million for him to not play half of the season last season. You gave Jordan Montgomery $25 million for 1 year, and now you're paying $25 million out of your pocket again for this season, even if you trade him. You couldn't give Christian Walker $60 million for 3 years? It's only a 3-year deal. That's what, $20 million a year? You couldn't give Christian Walker that when he was projected to get double that amount? What's up, Master J? You couldn't give him that. You couldn't give him that contract. Mike Hazen or Ken Kendrick, whoever the hell is signing these players, what are you thinking? Christian Walker is a back-to-back Gold Glover. He had 30 home runs the last 2 seasons. He was a pivotal reason on why this Diamondbacks team was a contender. How do you ignore this? And I swear, it feels like with the news that with the insiders that with the news that the insiders were breaking out, from my understanding, it literally seems like the Diamondbacks didn't even try to get him back. Or at least that's what it feels like. It just feels like this team didn't even try. All it took for Christian Walker was $60 million to go to Houston. And he picked the Astros out of all teams. Like, really? The Astros. Okay, so my question is to Mike Hazen. If some miracle, if you're watching this episode, what is your plan B? If that even was your plan A, re-signing Christian Walker, what the hell is your plan B? Who is going to play first baseman for us next season? Pavin Smith? Josh Bell, are you going to re-sign him? Keep him at first base? Are you going to trade for Josh Naylor? Are you going to re-sign Paul Goldschmidt's old ass? Like, what are you going to do? We're less than 100 days away from opening day. You guys, Mike Hazen, you have not made one move yet. You have not made one move yet. Actually, I take that back. You did make a move the other day. You signed an outfielder. How many outfielders do we have on this team? Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel, Alec Thomas, Jake McCarthy. I can go on and on. An outfielder is the last need that we have on this team. This general manager should be focused on pitching, especially the bullpen, pitching, and now he's got to worry about getting a first baseman. Christian Walker was a big reason on why we had the number 1 defense in the MLB last year. We had the least errors last season. And he was a good, decent reason on why we had the best offense as well. We scored the most runs last year, and he was a big reason because of that, especially when we played against the Dodgers. So, how do you not at least try to re-sign him? Like, I don't understand. What is Mike Hazen trying to do? I genuinely want to know. Can he go on Gambo's show and maybe talk about what his idea is this offseason? I'm refreshing Twitter over and over again, or X, whatever the hell it's called these days. I keep on refreshing it. All I look at, the Yankees got Cody Bellinger. The Mets got Juan Soto. The Yankees were in play for Christian Walker as well. What else? Nolan Arenado did not want to go to the Astros. I'm looking at all of these trades, these signings. Players that the Diamondbacks could really use right now. And our front office is not even trying to get one of those guys. Literally, what is your plan B? I'm so confused. This team spent a good amount of money last offseason. You guys, the only reason you missed the playoffs is because the Mets hoed you guys. You guys were a good win or two away from going back to the playoffs, potentially making a World Series run. Why are you not making any moves to improve the team? You guys were in the World Series a couple years ago with a bunch of 23-year-olds on your team. How are you not trying to improve that team? Like, I'm just so confused. Our ownership, I swear, and it feels like that for every single Arizona team that is not named the Phoenix Suns, we have the worst owners in the league, aside from the Phoenix Suns. With the Cardinals, worst owner by far. Worst owner in history by far. Don't care what anyone says. The Diamondbacks, I'm starting to think the same thing. Ken Kendrick, I get it. You're cheap. You barely have a net worth over $1 billion. I don't even know how you were able to purchase the Diamondbacks. I really don't get it. I get that. But dude, can you care about something else aside from how much money is being put in your pocket? That's the thing about sports ownership. Like, I can't stand it. Like, I seriously wish all teams were kind of like the Green Bay Packers, where they weren't owned by a sole individual, but they were owned by the city. I kind of wish Arizona sports were like that. Because I'm so sick and tired of these cheapskates that own Arizona teams. They don't try to improve the team at all. This team literally was just in the World Series. They were close to winning it. If they didn't face a super team, they would have won the World Series. And you pay all this money to Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery. You're going to have to extend Zach Gallen soon. So my question is, what the hell are you going to do? Are you even going to do anything? Are we going to go back to our old roots where we were missing the playoffs year in and year out? It's starting to look that way. And it's really annoying. This team was a playoff team a couple of years ago. They should have been a playoff team last year. So you let probably our best power hitter go to the Astros. Or as I like to call them, the assholes. You let him go to the assholes, for crying out loud. And Arku says, do you guys have a first baseman? Yeah, you want to know who it is? Pavin Smith. A guy who only saw playing time because a lot of guys were injured last year. That's our first baseman right now. So if we're going to go into opening day with Pavin Smith as our first baseman, you can kiss the season goodbye. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Honestly, we might finish fourth place next season. Like, if it wasn't for the Rockies, we would be last place next year at this rate. The Dodgers, they're going to remain a super team for years to come because Rob Manfred let him get away with it. The Padres, they're getting better. They're a young team. They're looking really good. San Francisco Giants, they just got rid of their general manager, and they're looking like a team that is going to be up and coming pretty soon. Diamondbacks, you're falling off right now. Big time. So I'm going to refresh X one more time and see if you guys have made a move yet. Let's take a look here. No. All I see is the Phoenix Suns trying to get Jimmy Butler still. That's all I see on Twitter. Make up your mind, Mike Hazen. Yeah, the Giants got Willie Adames too, which kind of surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. So, excuse my language. I know I'm on a radio show. Excuse me, but make up your mind. What is your plan B? We're closer to opening day than you think. This Diamondbacks team confuses me. I really don't understand what they're doing. I really don't get it. This team was in the World Series 2 years ago. Just like that, they're at least the 2001 Diamondbacks, after they won, at least they stayed contenders for like the next six or 7 years before we became a trash can. It hasn't even been 3 years since we made the World Series. And this team is already going back to their old roots of being trash. Or at least it's looking that way. So that's the only topic I had on the Diamondbacks. It's really not looking good. I'll say that. It just looks terrible. So I know that was a quick. I know you guys like it when I rant. So that was a quick rant on the Diamondbacks. So with that being said, we're going to go into another quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Phoenix Suns, how they look kind of good and bad at the same time. And we'll close it out with Arizona State finding out their opponent tomorrow between Clemson and Texas. We'll talk about college football to close out this episode. Once again, guys, you are watching the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide through your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Big shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. Make sure to check out his show if you guys are an LA fan, or even if you're not an LA fan. I know I'm not, and I despise him, but still, make sure to check out his show. Make sure to check out Larry B's show as well. If you're a fan of college football or pretty much, anything of sports, Larry will talk about that on the defining moment. So make sure to check out his show as well. And make sure to check out everybody's shows on here as well. We have amazing shows for pretty much any sport, any team, you guys name it. So make sure to check that out. Oh my gosh. What's up, Gavin? Nuggets are cheeks this year and they're still above the Suns. Okay, whatever. We're playing you guys actually in a few days, I think. I think we're playing the Nuggets. Back to back, too. I think we have 2 straight games against the Nuggets pretty soon. So, yeah, we'll beat you. Don't worry about it. So, speaking of the Suns. Okay. So let's talk about the Suns for a little bit. So they are currently 14-12 as of yesterday. So kind of a weird Western Conference. I feel like it's weird every year once again, but the Suns are currently in the play-in tournament right now. That's just how it is when you have this record in the in the Western Conference. I feel like if the Suns were in the Eastern Conference, this record right here would have them in the playoffs right now. Like, that's how weak the East is right now. When you think about the East, you mainly think about the Celtics, Cavaliers right now. Maybe the Magic, even without Paolo and Wagner, they're still playing really good right now. I'm not going to lie. So, and the Knicks, of course. So, other than that, there's not really a lot of teams that really blow your mind in that conference. But for the West, I mean, it's been tough all year for these recent years. So the Suns are 14-12. They're coming off a loss against the Pacers. That game was terrible. They had a bunch of turnovers in that game. We lost by 9 points. So the Suns had a bunch of turnovers in that game, like I said, and all of those turnovers led to 29 points for the Indiana Pacers. 29 points off of turnovers, which is literally, you can't do that in an NBA game. 29 points off turnovers, that will lose a game for you like immediately. So, you know, the Phoenix Suns, they're still kind of getting the chemistry going with this team. You know, Kevin Durant just came back from injury as well. And he had 37 points in that game, too. He had a double-double, 37 points and 10 rebounds. But he just had no help in that game. Bradley Beal sucks. Get him off of my team. Trade him for Jimmy Butler. I literally don't care. I don't care. Just get Bradley Beal off my team. It was that was just, he's just so bad. Like, for a third option, you know, send him back to Washington. He was averaging 30 points a game there. Send him back to Washington for all I care. He's not good here. So, you know, Bradley Beal is just not. You know, you guys know what they say, right? Availability is the best ability, and that is not an ability he has at all. He just gets hurt game in and game out. You know, you know what? If I were getting paid $250 million to sit out a bunch of games, I would probably do the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I wouldn't have to work a day in my life with that kind of money. So at the end of the day, you know, maybe that's a factor. But even as a third option, Bradley Beal is not, like, we traded for Bradley Beal so he could be a decent third option. He's not even that. Like, the fall off of Bradley Beal really needs to be studied. Washington has all of our second round picks pretty much. Brooklyn has all of our firsts. So it's like, man. But like I said, I actually talked about the Jimmy Butler rumors last week, and some more news actually came out that, what is it on here? So the Phoenix Suns are planning to wait until January to determine if they want to pursue a Jimmy Butler trade. So this is kind of expected in a way. I mean, January is basically trade deadline season. So at the end of the day, I didn't expect the Suns to really get Jimmy Butler right away. He is interested in Phoenix, and the Suns are interested in him. But obviously the main question regarding that trade is Miami willing to take Bradley Beal's contract? Are they willing to take, you know, the draft picks that we have left, this and that? You know, that's the question. So, and Bradley Beal also has a no trade clause as well. He does not have a standard contract. He has a no trade clause that the Wizards gave him stupidly recently. So, it pretty much, if the Suns are going to get Jimmy Butler, it all depends on what Bradley Beal wants. Does he want to stay in Phoenix? Does he want to retire in South Beach like any other old man? I mean, that's kind of how it is, I guess. So it all depends on what Bradley Beal pretty much wants. Jimmy Butler, Miami does want to trade Jimmy Butler, or at least it sounds like it. And the Suns want to get him. So the question is, what does Bradley Beal want? Because I personally feel like the only way we would get Jimmy Butler is by getting rid of Beal's contract. That would be the only way to get Jimmy Butler, and maybe add on maybe a few bench player, or a bench player or two. I know the Suns love Grayson Allen that much. If Miami asks for Grayson Allen, that may be a big factor as well. And quite frankly, Grayson Allen has been better than Bradley Beal since he got traded here. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, Beal has not been great. Why did we trade for him? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, what's up, Tommy? I'm not gonna pin that comment. Arizona Hobbits. Okay, whatever. Are we becoming the Clippers of the West? No, we are not. Because unlike the Clippers, we actually contend every year. They don't. Clippers suck. I'm sorry. All right. Tommy Huxley with words of wisdom. Gavin, you're a Nuggets fan, all right? Hush. Anyway. All right. So, excuse me. Okay. So I talked a little bit about yesterday's game. Bradley Beal came back. He played like trash. And Devin Booker is now hurt. Yeah. Whenever we get one of our players back, another one gets injured. We saw it when KD came back. When KD got back, Bradley Beal got hurt again. When Bradley Beal comes back now, Devin Booker gets hurt. It's like, why? Can y'all just stay healthy? Like, the injuries on this team will be the death of me. Well, not the death of me, but the death of this franchise. So, Devin Booker got injured the other day with a groin injury, but Mike Budenholzer did come out and say that he does not think Devin Booker's injury is going to be a long, extended period of time. He does think Devin Booker will come back in a short span. We're taking on the Detroit Pistons tomorrow, so that should be a win. I don't even know at this point. We lost to the Pacers, and they're not doing good this year. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, any game is pretty much up for grabs for our opponent. The Suns team is injured. Chemistry is not going that well. So, and if Devin Booker is out tomorrow, we're just going to have to rely on another KD masterpiece. So, I kind of feel bad for KD. He's 36 years old, and it feels like he's been our best player this year. So, at the end of the day, you know, he's still doing his thing, though, at age 36. So, he is definitely not washed for all you haters out there. So, we get to the comments. The Warriors got murdered last. I saw that. They were down by 52 at one point. I was like, yo, throw the white flag. And I saw Steph Curry had 2 points, and he didn't make a single field goal. 2 of those points were free throws. I was like, dude, am I getting old or something? If Steph Curry's playing like this and he's hitting Father Time, like, am I getting old? I swear, dude, like, it just sucks, because I grew up watching Curry, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Warriors dynasty is over. The Warriors dynasty has been over since their win against the Celtics. That's just how it is. They're the Gavin, hush. Okay, like I said, you're a Nuggets fan. Okay, your team name is the Nuggets. Enough said. All right, and the Clippers. Unlike the Clippers, we have actually made it to an NBA Finals. That's something that the Clippers have not done. Okay, so the Clippers will never get to the finals in my lifetime. The Lakers run LA, and they will always run LA. The Clippers are not worth anything, all right? Their owner is a moron. He built that entire stadium just to not hang up a single banner in it, okay? So we are not the Clippers. We actually have banners in our stadium, okay? We are not the Clippers, and we never will be, all right? So get that thought out of your head. KD is a great player, but not a leader. Yeah, I agree. He's a bucket getter. Yeah, at 36 years old, he's dominating, man. You got to give it to KD. He's playing like our best player right now. You got to give it to KD. Great show. Yep, shout out to Larry B. Like I said, I played his video drop earlier. Make sure to check out his show, The Defining Moment. And big shout out to Larry B for letting me come on here every Friday, man. Really do appreciate it. Tommy says Jokic is a fluke. I disagree. Jokic is an incredible player. The Clippers should return back to San Diego where they actually, yeah, they're not worthy of being an LA team. Okay, let me get back to Arizona sports. I've been on the comments for a while. So, okay, so I'm over the hour mark, but I still got, I'll make this topic a little bit short. Hold on, give me a second. Let me change it to the ASU colors because ASU football, we're back. We are back. Hey, USC fans, how you like that? I'll stop. But I know, because I know I got, wait, Actually, I'm not sure if Tommy's a USC fan. I may be wrong on that. But if he is, how do you like me now? So ASU, as I said last week, they were ranked 4th in the college football playoffs. So they have a first round bye. We will not be watching them until New Year's. So we have a while. Until we find out. Well, actually, not a while. But basically, we find out our opponent tomorrow. We're taking on either Clemson or Texas. So, Texas or Clemson. I personally believe that Texas will win. But then again, with Quinn Ewers at quarterback, he has kind of struggled a little bit lately. So it would be the most Arizona sports type thing ever if we played Texas next or like in a couple weeks and they put in Arch Manning or something like that just because Quinn Ewers sucks or something. I don't know. But if you look at the college football playoffs lately, it's been kind of other than Oregon, it's been kind of a toss-up lately. We saw with Georgia, Carson Beck will not be playing in their game, and they're on a first-round bye too. So Georgia will be without their quarterback. You know, Boise State, they're a great team, but can Ashton Genty really carry them? That is the question I have for them. And of course, Oregon is Oregon. Honestly, I hate to say it. Oregon might get to the championship game, but Oregon has kind of struggled against certain teams this season, so that'll be up for grabs. And then of course we have ASU, who is taking on the winner of Clemson and Texas. So Crazy Juice wants to see Texas and ASU. I kind of want to see that too. I don't care who we play. I feel like either team is going to put up a really good fight against us. But at the end of the day, the fact that ASU got this far, very successful season. I always shout out Kenny Dillingham because he's done his job. In year 2 as well. Year 2, he was able to get us back to the college football playoffs. Yeah, Tommy's a Trojans fan. Yeah, I'm not going to pull up his comment. I'm on a radio show. So anyway. But, all right, let's see. So, man, got to root for Texas. Quinn Ewers has been shaky. Oregon needs to prove it. Yeah, they do. So with that being said, it's the same question. Like the same question I had for Boise State is also kind of with ASU, right? Obviously, we don't have Jordan Tyson for the rest of the season, our star wide receiver. We don't have him. So Sam Levitt is really going to have to try to find a way to keep throwing the rock to these receivers who don't have as many receptions as Jordan Tyson had this year. And of course, we talk about Cam Scatterbo. Is Scatterbo going to be able to carry us to where we want to get? Because he's been the MVP of this team. He finished 5th place in Heisman voting, even though he plays on a team that a lot of people don't really recognize that much. He still managed to finish 5th place in Heisman voting. By the way, Genty got robbed, by the way. Travis Hunter did not deserve it. So anyway, but like I said, can Cam Scatterbo keep dominating us to where we want to get? So like I said, we're facing the winner of Clemson and Texas. I do expect Texas to win, but at the same time, Clemson has been a hot team lately. So I would not completely rule out. I would not rule out Clemson at all. They did beat SMU to get into the playoffs. So, and I do think SMU, even though, you could make the case that they're just, a one-year wonder team or whatever, they have been playing good. They have been, a contender this year, obviously. For sure, you guys would have beaten Oklahoma if they had stayed in the Big 12. Maybe. I mean, maybe. But, ASU, it really, this game, whoever we play against, it's going to depend on Sam Levitt. We all know Scatterbo is going to dominate. We all know he's going to do his job. But Sam Levitt, you are a freshman quarterback, you're a freshman, and you're already making it this far. So the question is, which receiver on this team is going to step up? That is what I'm going to be looking forward to heading into this game, depending on whoever we play. So I think the playoffs actually start today. Yeah, they start, or I think they start today. So I don't think any of the big games are today. I'm pretty sure they're all tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there are going to be a lot of questions regarding ASU heading into the Peach Bowl. So, like I said, though, the fact that we're here, we're back in the playoffs. Finally, an Arizona team is in the playoffs for college. U of A is falling off, so ASU is back in it. This dude Tommy says Arizona's one and done. First off, it's Arizona State, not Arizona. Arizona sucks, okay? Arizona is not in the playoffs, and they never will be back in the playoffs, okay? So it's Arizona State. Get it right. USC fans, you know what I'm saying? But anyway. But I'm really excited to see who we play. I do expect it to be Texas. But then again, I don't really care who we play, to be honest. I really don't care. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see who we play. So we're in for a really good one. And then Tommy says F both Arizona. Wait, hold up. F both Arizona team. Hey, whatever. Okay. USC fans. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams sucks, by the way. All right. Anyway, like any USC quarterback aside from Carson Palmer, just screw all y'all. Anyway, all right. Today is Indiana versus Notre Dame. Okay, that'll be a good one. Gavin says F Arizona and the state. Okay, well, you're in Wales, all right? So know your role. Anyway, okay, so Gavin, stick to soccer. All right, whatever. All right, so I have covered everything, all the big Arizona news today, from the Cardinals getting Budda Baker back, the Suns and the Diamondbacks, all the good and bad. Next Friday, we will be back at it, guys. Next Friday, hopefully at 1 o'clock, like I'm normally supposed to go live, but you guys know personal life always catches up. So, Wales beat USA in the darts yesterday. Well, I wouldn't know that, but anyway. Crazy Juice says he's rooting for Notre Dame. Okay, well, we'll see who wins that, and then... okay. But next week, we will be talking about the Cardinals and Panthers game. Hopefully, we win that game. We should win that game. We'll talk about the Rams preview. Like I said, I'll have Taryn Rodriguez on this show next week to talk about the Rams and Cardinals game. That game is a primetime game now on a Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we'll talk about who ASU is playing. If we're playing Texas, I'll try to get our Dallas sports fan on here. He is a Texas Longhorns fan, so I'll try to see if I could also get him on here as well. So we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about the Suns. Hopefully they bounce back a little bit. And hopefully by then the Diamondbacks make a move at least, for crying out loud. It's so annoying. But we will cover all of that next week. I'm going to try to stream these episodes on my personal channel a lot more because I do tend to get a lot more comments, as y'all have seen on here. Like I said, Cardinals need to win out to win the division, or have a chance to win the division. Hopefully we get it done. Tommy says, I hope. We'll see what happens. I just know we won't get swept by them like y'all did, so there you go. But I do appreciate everyone who stopped by to watch today's episode. This is episode 2.